Many of you know this by now. I like CJ Stroud. I think he's an outstanding quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. But what he just said, he's absolutely lost his mind. There's no way he actually believes this. I'll put it this way. I hope he doesn't believe it. I know we have a lot of disagreements, but I think we can all agree the two worst teams, and I mean the two possible worst teams you could have went to in this NFL draft were either A, the Carolina Panthers, or B, the Houston Texans. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get too much worse than the Texans and the Panthers, and that's also why they had the first two picks. Not only has their football teams the past couple of years been terrible or not so good, and we can leave it at that, but also their organizations haven't been too much better. And at least in my humble opinion, I don't care if you're Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. You're not turning around the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans in 1 year. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. That's just not going to happen, and I don't think anybody with a functional brain thinks it's going to happen either. The Panthers and the Texans flat out suck, and it's not just at the quarterback position. Just because you got CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, it doesn't mean you're going to turn it around. There's a lot of other positions and a lot of other stuff they got to fill. But don't tell CJ Stroud that, because he believes otherwise. And what he said, honestly, I mean this 100%. I think he's lost his mind. Now, here's my biggest question about this, and we're going to talk all about it in the video in just a second. Did he just say this to say it, or does he actually believe it? If he believes this, yeah, it's confirmed he's lost his mind. There's no way what he said, he actually believes it. And I wish he wouldn't have came out and said this, because when we look back at the Texans when the year's over in about 7 or 8 months, I know people are going to bring these quotes back up. It's going to happen. If I was him, I wouldn't have said this stuff, and I'd have kept it moving. We're going to talk all about that in today's video, but also we got another jam-packed one because we got an update on Will Levis and the quarterback situation going on in Tennessee. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but also we got a minor update on the Bryce Young number situation. Because remember, for those of y'all that may have forgotten, the Panthers last year, they drafted Matt Corral. Why is that important? Well, because Matt Corral last year for the Panthers, he wore number 9. Bryce Young at Alabama, he wore number 9. Yeah, so you can put 2 and 2 together. Something's got to give. This intro has already been way too long. Look, it's simple. If you like our content, we would love for you to be a part of our community. If you don't want to subscribe, that is cool too. All right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up now. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, first things first. We're getting this out of the way. Only going to speak on this for 45 seconds. So, reportedly, and this shouldn't shock me, but I thought it was interesting, so we might as well talk about it. Will Levis, he's going to be the QB3 for the Titans to start out. I had a couple people send this to me on Twitter talking about, well, Matt, they took Levis with an early second-round pick, and you even said that Levis, he's going to be ahead of Malik Willis. And yes, I still believe that. The Titans head coach coming out and saying this is just normal protocols. This is what happens with any team. Keyword right here, he will start out as QB3. That doesn't mean that's where he's going to finish. I don't understand why people are freaking out about this, because yes, he's going to be behind the other two guys because they've been there for a minute. As far as it goes for the Titans quarterback situation and this quote-unquote quarterback battle between Malik Willis and Will Levis and I guess Ryan Tannehill, I don't even think it's a battle. As much as we've ragged and joked on Will Levis the past couple of days, I think he's the best option. Malik Willis is not an NFL talent, and he's never going to be an NFL quarterback. Can he be a backup quarterback in the league and make tens of millions of dollars? Yes, he can. A starter? No. And to be honest, I even have a hard time stating and giving Malik Willis the benefit of the doubt that he could be a backup with how poorly he played last year. I mean, it was bad, and I cannot get that Kansas City Chiefs game out of my mind. But moving along here, Ryan Tannehill, he's not going to lead you to a championship, and that's what the NFL is about. You don't just want to be a fringe playoff team. You either want to not make the playoffs, lose every single game, or you want to win a championship. No in-betweens. Nobody even talks about this, but one of the worst states to be in as an NFL football team or an NFL football fan is watching your team and organization go 10-7 every single year. You don't want to be a fan, and you don't want your team to go 10-7, 9-8, 8-9 every single year, be a fringe playoff team and lose the first or second game of the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill's washed up, and he was never really that great in the first place. It's clear cut and obvious the Titans, they're looking for their next franchise quarterback. So when it's all said and done for this quarterback battle and Will Levis starts to get comfortable in the system, I would expect him to start a game by possibly week 7, week 8 maybe? And maybe that's too far down the line. He may start week 3, week 4, you never know. He's a second round pick, he's got a lot to prove, and he's also really mad, so I don't even think throwing him in there too early, it'd be too detrimental to his career. His ego's already been shot down with him falling out of the first top 10 pick, so it can't get too much worse. I would love to talk about that some more because that's one of the most intriguing quarterback battles in all of the league, but we got to get a move on. Moving along here to our second topic, remember, Bryce Young, he was number 9 at Alabama. However, the Carolina Panthers, they currently have a quarterback, Matt Corral, who also wears number 9, so we got a problem. Or at least, that's what many people thought. News came out that Matt Corral, he's going to be switching from number 9 to number 2. Whoa, hold on, before some of you try to clown Matt Corral in the comment section, go, Bryce Young, he's bullying Matt Corral, he took his starting job and now he's taking his number, That's not what happened, chump. Here's what really happened. For those of you that are casuals, Matt Corral in high school wore number 2, and in college he wore number 2. This is simply Matt Corral switching back to number 2, and the reason he can do that is because DJ Moore, he left the team. I've seen a lot of people the past couple of days trying to make up this false narrative that Bryce Young just walked in there and told him, hey boss man, I'm getting number 9, or either B, the Carolina Panthers told Matt Corral, hey buddy, you gotta switch over. That isn't what happened, and that's all I gotta say about that situation. That is the only update. I also want to speak on this. I feel so bad for Matt Corral because last year in the 2022 NFL Draft, he was my QB1. The only reason he fell so far in the NFL Draft is because he made a dumb financial and business decision. He elected to play in Ole Miss's bowl game, meaningless bowl game against Baylor, and he got hurt. That is going to be one of the biggest what-ifs of all time because if he doesn't get hurt, I guarantee it, first-round pick. Nobody feels worse for Matt Corral than me myself. I hope and I pray one day he gets an opportunity. I am not saying that Matt Corral is going to be an NFL Hall of Famer. I'm just saying I want to see him get a shot. But now, finally, moving on to the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we got to talk about good old CJ Stroud. What do we got going on here? I always love keeping up with this. Right after the draft, these NFL quarterbacks and all these top picks, they start doing interviews with these teams. And why it fascinates me so much is because you're no longer playing for a college football team. You're no longer the star, the stud around campus. You're in the pros. This is a business. And you're also no longer just good enough to carry your college team to a 11-1, 10-2, 12-0 season, despite maybe some of your other teammates not being so good. This is strictly a business. Everybody at every position is good or the best at what they do. But at the same time, these top 10, top 15, top 20 picks, I think they're a little bit too confident in themselves and they're about to get hit with a harsh dose of reality. Because guys like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they've never lost in their life, ever. And it's for all the top quarterbacks. For example, Kyler Murray never lost a game in high school. He goes to Oklahoma, all he does is win, and then he wins the Heisman. And what happens? Boom, he goes into the NFL, and finally, you start playing for a team that loses games. It is a very odd transition for a guy to win from the ages of 6 years old to 19 or 20, and then they get to the NFL and they start losing games. It's just not familiar territory. And I can't blame the guys for being so confident in themselves because, yeah, if you won your entire life, you're going to expect to continue to win. That's human nature. To give you some perspective, if I walk outside every single day for the past 20 years and it's sunny, well, tomorrow, just going off of what's happened in the past, I'm going to bet it's going to be sunny. You see what I'm saying? So it's a mix of, hey, they believe in themselves, but also it's what they're used to. But getting on track here with CJ Stroud, what he said a couple of days ago, it is interesting to say the least. And it caught my attention because he stated that he believes he can turn around the Texas franchise in his rookie season. Keyword, rookie season. He didn't say in 2, 3, 4 years. He said this year. Continuing down here, he also stated there's no limit on what he'll be able to accomplish in his rookie season. I'll speak on that in just a second. And last but not least, he also said he has a really special feeling about what Houston Texans are going to do. Like I tweeted out whenever him and Will Anderson got drafted. Incoming 3-14 season. Somebody said he's there to turn the team around 360 degrees. All right. I got to quit looking at the comments because they're too funny and I got to log in and get serious. Now, I know what some people may try to say. Well, Matt, what'd you expect him to say? That they're going to have a losing season and he's going to be terrible? And no, I did not. Here's all I'm saying. You didn't have to go as too far as you're saying, hey, I'm going to turn around this team in my rookie year and what we're going to do is going to be really special. When you say you're going to turn around a team in your rookie season, that's where I'm like, all right, man, Come on, let's be serious. You ain't turning around jack crap, and we can come back to this video in a year from now and just see how much I was right. How do I put this nicely? The Texans suck. Many of you know this by now. I like CJ Stroud. I think he's an outstanding quarterback. I think he's a great quarterback. But what he just said, he's absolutely lost his mind. There's no way he actually believes this. For example, some people will try to argue and say, well, Matt, that's just stuff they say to the media. He's just trying to hype up his team, get the team chemistry up. And I agree. Like, hey, if he's saying that just to hype up his teammates, organization, the coaches, that's cool. But for some reason, the way it came off to me, it felt like and seemed like he actually meant that crap. CJ Stroud ain't turning around nothing. And let me make this clear as well. It goes the same for Bryce Young. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are in for a very rude awakening in the rookie season. Especially CJ Stroud, because back there for Ohio State, he had all the time in the world to throw the ball. Bryce Young at Alabama, he did a little more scrambling, got sacked a little more, but still, Bryce Young had a lot of time. In the NFL, no, you got 3 seconds, 4 seconds max. This isn't going to turn out well for CJ Stroud, and it also goes back to this. I don't think he's going to have a great season next year. No rookie has a great season. He may have an average or good season, but still, let's just say, give him the benefit of the doubt. He has a really good season, near perfect or great season. That still may not be enough to turn this team around to get 7 or 8 wins. In the NFL, you can't just have a great quarterback. You got to have great teammates at every position, and the Texans don't have that. You can argue at a brick wall. This isn't basketball, bro, where you can just have one great player and boom, you're in playoff contention. And even at that, in basketball and the NBA, we're starting to see one great player doesn't mean anything. You got to have a lot of key role players. Well, that's the problem with the Texans. We don't even know if CJ Stroud is going to be great yet, but they also don't even have great role players. I just thought this was a terrible take from him. He should have said something along the lines of, yeah, well, we got a lot to work to do, and we're going to work hard. We're going to keep grinding. Something along those lines. But this right here, just ludicrous, if he actually believes it. I'll put it this way. I hope he doesn't believe it. Let me know your thoughts down below, but probably.